We are officially at week 7 of the 2019 NFL season. We are over 1/3 of the way done with the regular season. So let's get in my week 7 picks. Last week, it wasn't a good record at all. 7-6 on the bright side, still a winning record, and it's not the worst performance of the season so far. So hopefully, I'm better with my picks this week. So let's begin. As always, we start with the Thursday night football game. This week it features the Chiefs and the Broncos. These teams are heading in different directions. The Broncos are on a 2-game winning streak, and the Chiefs are on a 2-game losing streak. But the Chiefs have seemed to struggle a bit throughout their last handful of games. But I think the Chiefs, they recover here. But I think the Chiefs will have to earn this one. I think it's going to be a fairly close game. I think the Broncos will be able to stay in it from start to finish. But I think the Chiefs will win only by a touchdown. I think it will be that close of a game. I think if Denver can take it to the fourth quarter, they could have a chance and steal this one. But I'm giving this to the Chiefs. I think now that Tyreek Hill is back and now that he's back into that offense, it took a game to get back into it, and now he's fully back into it. So I think the Chiefs, pretty soon, they're going to start firing on all cylinders again. Next, we have the LA Rams and the Falcons. And the Falcons, they had a loss last week to the Cardinals in what was one of their last chances to get a win this season. Maybe this could even be their last chance of the year. In the last 4 weeks, the Falcons have made Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson, and Kyler Murray look like elite quarterbacks. And the Rams, they have struggled the last 3 weeks. And the Rams are going to finally look great again. Jared Goff is going to look like a Hall of Famer against this Falcons secondary. And the Rams just traded for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's happy to be out of Jacksonville. Now he's joining the Rams. This is their attempt to try to get into the playoff race, with the 49ers and the Seahawks both having terrific starts to the season. But could this move be a little too late for the Rams? Either way, the Rams win this week. Next, we have the Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins, they had a chance to win what could be one of their only 2 shots of winning a game. But they went for 2 and they didn't get it. So they are now still winless. And the Bills, coming off a bye week. And I'm going to take Buffalo. I think people are sleeping on them. They competed hard with the Patriots. They took them all the way down to the fourth quarter. And I think the Bills, they take this win here. Next, we have Jacksonville and Cincinnati. And I'm going to take Jacksonville to recover from last week's loss against the Saints. The Bengals, they just seem to be struggling. Although the brightest moment for the Bengals so far is almost beating the Seahawks. But that just feels like so long ago. And will the Bengals win a game this season? Their best chance is going to be against the Dolphins in Week 16. But I think Jacksonville wins this week. They did trade Jalen Ramsey away. But I think this is going to be a game where Leonard Fournette has another breakout game, kind of like what he did against the Broncos. Maybe not 225 yards, but I think he will be depended on very much in this game. I think Leonard has a big game for Jacksonville. Next, we have the Vikings and Lions. The Lions, I think, are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder this week. They're going to be playing. They're going to have fuel to their fire. Well, adding fuel to the fire of arguably being robbed in Monday Night Football this past week against the Packers. But you got to look at it that the Lions, they had so many field goal opportunities. Well, they made the field goals, but they had so many opportunities to get touchdowns and had to settle for field goals so many times. And plus, this is what I think is going to be a big game for Kirk Cousins, so I think it's always night and day with the Vikings, and it's going to be night for a negative reason. I'm going to take the Lions. The Lions are another team that I think everybody is sleeping on. The Lions, they competed really well with the Chiefs. They almost beat Green Bay. Arguably, they should have beaten them, but they had to settle for so many field goals in that game. So the Lions, and also a dropped interception opportunity towards the end of overtime against the Cardinals week 1. So the Lions, they could easily be almost undefeated right now. Maybe if a couple different things went differently in each of their losses and in that tie game, we could be talking about the Lions being undefeated. But I think the Lions get a win here this week against the Vikings. Next we have the Raiders and Packers. And despite the Raiders coming off a bye, I think the Packers will win this one. I just think Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau, nearly unbeatable, but wasn't unbeatable. He was very beatable this past Monday night, but he still got the job done. And some are going to say it was because of the officials. Maybe that's the case, but the Lions shouldn't have even been in those situations. They had to settle for field goals. So I'm going to take Green Bay. Next, the Texans and the Colts. The Texans are coming off a big victory over the Chiefs last Sunday. So I'm going to take Indianapolis. I think there's going to be a couple of different upsets this week. And some of my picks, I have a couple upset picks. And I think this is going to be one of them. I just think in a divisional game, anything can happen. I think this game comes down to the wire. And I think the Colts defense, they make a stand. So I'm going to take Indianapolis in this one. Next, the Cardinals and the Giants. The Giants, they have not looked that good the last 2 weeks. Arguably, they've played the Vikings and the Patriots. But the Giants, they got 2 wins this season already with Daniel Jones at quarterback. So right now, it's a work in progress with Daniel Jones. But I just think the Cardinals, they have some confidence. I think winning 2 games in a row, I feel like they're confident at this point. I think Kyler Murray is starting to figure things out, but I still think that the offensive line needs to improve for the Cardinals. In fact, both of these teams' offensive lines, they need work. But I'm going to take the Cardinals because I think this will be a great battle between rookie quarterbacks, but I'm favoring Kyler Murray because of the confidence factor. Next, the 49ers and the Redskins. The Redskins picked up their first win under interim head coach Bill Callahan, the man that arguably took down Nebraska football. And I will take San Francisco, because if the Redskins keep winning games, maybe Bill Callahan may end up being the head coach for the Redskins. And I'm sure Redskins fans don't want that to happen. So I'm going to take San Francisco. And last week we saw the 49ers, they competed against a Rams team. So the 49ers, they seem legitimate to me. Although the Rams, they've gone through some issues the last couple weeks. Well, I'm not discrediting the 49ers in any way. I think the 49ers, I don't necessarily think they are the favorite right now to win the NFC. I still think that can go to Seattle or New Orleans. I think one of those two. I'll even throw in Green Bay in there. I think one of those 3 will take the NFC. But I am going to take the 49ers this week. Next, we have the Chargers and the Titans. The Chargers, they have struggled all season long. And right now, it's a struggle on offense. They've lost to third-string quarterback Devlin Hodges of the Steelers. And last week, the Titans benched Mariota in favor of Ryan Tannehill. So I think the Chargers, I think they're going to recover. Well, not necessarily recover, but I think they're going to finally get a win that they've been hoping for. They have had some close battles so far this season, and I think they're going to finally win another game. Next, we have the Saints and the Bears. Now, I think this is going to end up being one of the biggest games of the week amongst the NFL landscape. Teddy Bridgewater, undefeated as the Saints quarterback, and the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky was practicing this week. So who knows if he's going to play this week. How I look at this game is, can the Saints run the ball? against this Bears defense. We saw the Bears defense shut down the Vikings offense. We saw them shut down Dalvin Cook. So, and I think the Bears, I think they have that same playbook in shutting down Alvin Kamara. I'm going to take Chicago in this one, but I think this is the game of the week, and it goes in either direction. But I will take the Bears at home in Soldier Field. Next, we have the Ravens and the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is right now one of the front runners for MVP. I think right now it's down to Russell Wilson and Christian McCaffrey as the MVP favorite. But I'm going to pick an upset this week. I'm going to take the Ravens. No particular reason why. I just feel like there's going to be an upset in the NFL this week, and I feel like this is going to be it. I think Lamar Jackson, I think this is going to be a breakout game for him. The Seahawks, they've gotten lucky in the past couple of weeks, and I think the luck is not going to be on Seattle's side this week. I'm going to take Baltimore in an upset. Next, we have the Eagles and Cowboys Sunday Night Football. The Eagles, they have looked terrible on secondary so far this season. And the Cowboys, they are on a 3-game losing streak with losses to the Saints, Packers, and Jets. But I think with the Cowboys being back home in Cowboy Stadium, I think this could be a good omen for them. However, Amari Cooper's status is in question, and Amari Cooper tends to do phenomenal in Cowboy Stadium. So right now he's questionable. But I still think the Cowboys win with or without Amari Cooper, because I think Dak is going to take advantage of Philadelphia having a weak secondary. I think the Cowboys win. Next, we have the Patriots and Jets to conclude the week on Monday Night Football. And what's there to talk about? I'm going to take New England. Although the Jets could surprise some people. They surprised a lot of people last week against the Cowboys with the return of Sam Darnold. But the Patriots, they're a much different animal than the Cowboys. And the Patriots, they always are prepared for the Jets. I'm going to take New England. And those are my Week 7 NFL picks. For review, I like the Chiefs, Rams, Bills, Jaguars, Lions, Packers, Colts, Cardinals, 49ers, Chargers, Bears, Ravens, Cowboys, and Patriots this week. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment your picks down below, and I will see you soon in my next video.